What's going on? This is your boy Gangstalk Talk with AJ, and I'm back with another video. So in this video, man, I want to talk about the time I installed cameras on a property I was living in. If you're into thought-provoking content like this, your fellow TI being gang stalked, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. I would love to chop it up with you guys and build the community. But yeah, so I want to talk about my experiences with after I installed cameras on my home. Now, I moved in this house at the time January 14th or 2020. So just right before the pandemic happened, everything was going on at the time. And my experience was very interesting. Everything seemed cool at first, you know, everything was just cool. It seemed like it. But I think once everybody got the inclination that I was in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? That's when I noticed that that quickly everybody was turned on me. So, you know how when you move into a new state, a new city or whatever, or a new neighborhood in town, far away from where you were, people don't expect you there. So when you move there, kind of like, you know, everything seems cool until they get the notifications and they get the messages, and then people that are your perps that were stalking you in your old neighborhood, they find out where you are, they'll notify everybody in your new area, and that's when things started to change. So I had a couple of incidents before I got the cameras, where my people were attempting to break into my cars. People were letting dogs poop on my lawn. Just neighbor, I've had a package get stolen before, and I knew who did it, but he said in my face and lied to me, which stuck with me to this day. It's unbelievable that a grown man can sit in my face and lie to me like that. It's just unbelievable. But so it was a couple of instances which made me want to get cameras. So I already had the Wi-Fi package or whatever, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna install a security system. So what I did was I put one camera on the front of my house. I put two cameras on the front of my house. One that was on the left side where I park my cars, and then one that's on the right side that faces, gives you a more defined look of the road, across the street, house beside me. And then the left camera in the front gave you the house beside me on the left side, and then another camera, a pin of the road of the three houses across the street. So I had 5 houses I could see on both cameras, and then the 2 houses next to me. And then I put a camera on the right side of the house, my side door, and then I put a camera on the left side of the house, that was a gate, like a pathway going towards the backyard. And then I put a camera on the back of the house, which faces my backyard, and then there was an alley back there, that, you know, unfortunately a lot of homeless people used to walk through, because I live downtown. So I noticed when I installed the cameras, my neighbor that lived on the left of me kind of took interest in them. And I think what really, and it let me know that he was responsible for a lot of my tires going flat, or people that he invited over his company, they were responsible for my tires going flat and stuff happening to my vehicles, random scratches, etc., etc. I knew at that moment he had something to do with it, or knew something about it. And at time, and I'm going to get into this, but let me not drift off. But because he developed quite an interest in my cameras. So I noticed that he had a package allegedly get stolen, and I saw the footage, so I knew he was lying. But he was asking me, and a lot of people kept asking me this: do those cameras work? Do those cameras work? I've had the police themselves ask me, do those cameras work? And I'm gonna get into why later on in the story. So I noticed that he said he had a package got stolen, and I could see his house in his front of his house. The camera on the side and the camera on the left is facing towards, it can see his front yard. And then the camera on the side can see his side door. So I knew he was lying. So when I when he came to my door and asked me for, you know, do you have footage? I said, no, my cameras ain't working, you know what I'm saying? So I lied to him because I didn't want him to even know that my cameras record. And then I actually have 24/7 surveillance, and I can play back any moment of the day. I didn't want them to know because I knew they were gang stalking me. So, and they were a part of sabotaging my tires, you know, putting nails in my tires and flattening my tires, and somebody scraped my car. So I knew he was, you know, responsible for that. So I knew he had something to do with that, because he used to have a lot of parties. So he would be really loud intentionally while my little babies at the time were trying to sleep. So I knew what was going on. So I told him no, I didn't see anything. You figure it out, basically. I didn't say that part, but I'm saying you figure it out. So that happened. And then there was another thing that happened where he had a what do you call it? Not an RV, but yeah, RV. I think it's, yeah, camper, RV. That was his dad's, that was parked right beside his car on his driveway. So it was about 11, I say 20 in the morning that day, and he wasn't home. I wasn't home either. And I get an alert, and I see two guys, Indian guys, or they might be Mexican, Hispanic. They were on his property, and the reason why I saw them is because the two guys, they walked up towards my window and looked and saw the camera. So what I think they were doing is trying to see if the camera works. Lo and behold, the light that was on it wasn't flashing, so you only can see it at night. So they proceeded to steal the RV, and then I noticed that it was too scripted, because I'm like, as long as that RV was sitting there, how mysterious is that? For one day did these guys just come mysteriously steal this RV? And then next thing you know, I get a knock on the door again when I'm home. Well, as soon as he see me pull up, do you have the footage? Like, did your cameras catch anything? Once again, I said no. No, they don't work. They don't record 24/7. I lied again. I had the footage of it happening in real time. So now let me tell you how I knew this was scripted. Tell me why a week and a half later that trailer mysteriously reappeared. So you're telling me that wasn't you didn't script that, and that was an inside job, because a week and a half later it popped back up? These are instances where they just wanted to see if those cameras work, so they can continue to try to sabotage me and do things on my property. So let me get into the second occurrence. People used to walk their dogs in the neighborhood, normal thing, right? Now, I didn't have dogs. I don't have dogs. Never had a dog. So I would come out. The neighbor that I was talking about had a dog. So his dogs would escape and poop in my yard. And then when he seen it, he know what happens. Him being an a-hole that he is, or that he was, he knew what was going on. So moving on. It only happened a couple times. Moving on. I threw it away. I moved on about my day. So I had a neighbor that stayed 3 doors down from me. They used to walk their dog, and she used to poop, and they used to let their dog poop in my yard and piss on my lawn. So one day I caught him in the act. And I'm just like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Just, you're not cleaning up after your dog. Why would you, of all these yards that's around, why choose to stop and let your dog poop and pee on my grass and in my yard, and then don't even bother and have the decency to clean it up? So from that day on, when I confronted them, they started to get, they didn't get aggressive with me directly, but they got, every time they used to walk past my house following days and following weeks. Yeah, I can hear audio of them talking, and they would be like, fuck him, you know what I'm saying, and all this, that, and the third, and they would stop right there. And at this point, I wasn't home, so they would still try to have their dog piss on my yard, and this, that, and the third. And I remember one time I was cleaning my car, and they got brazen and did it when I was right there. So I got out the car, confronted them again, and told them, with all due respect, this is the second time that you did this. So I'm going to ask you one more time, do not do this, And once again, they were okay. And then we get to the third time this happened. Now, the third time he did it, I was out of town. And I come back, and once again, the cameras catch everything. He did it again, bro. And obviously, they knew I was out of town. So I come back, poop in my yard, and I see him on camera. So I take the poop, I throw it right in front of his door. Pick it up, clean up after your dog. It stopped. So okay, so I'm gonna get to the police instance of when they asked for footage. So there was an accident, which I'm 100% sure was staged. Well, the street I live on was a one-way street off the freeway. This young girl was driving and swerved a little bit on the side because there's parking across the street. There's a little line to where cars can park right there, and she swerved and hit the dude's truck that they were working on the house across the street. Now, once again, I get a knock. The police already know these cameras are there, so get a knock on the door, and there's the police. Hey, do those cameras work? Oh, you got cameras. And I said, no, I'm not helping you with anything. So leave me alone. Had nothing to do with me. My cameras are for my protection and the protection of my property only. I don't care about anything that you guys got going. Has nothing to do with me, with all due respect. So we go from there. And yes, I have the footage of it. I had the footage of this stuff happening. Everything that was going on, I had the footage. But I noticed that when these cameras got installed, these perps don't like being exposed, and they don't like the crimes they're committing against you on tape. So 100% I encourage you, if you can, even if you're in an apartment, get cameras, record everything, especially if you're in an apartment. Get some cameras on the interior of your home, right at the door, in the bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living area. Get at least 3 cameras in your home. Record. If they try to enter your home when you're not there, then you have proof. And like I said, I just made a video talking about I don't record everything. I don't record everything like with my phone, but I do record everything like I have, like in my car. I have a camera right here that you can't see, not this camera, but it's a camera up here that records everything in the front, and I have a camera in the back that records everything in the back. So there's a camera right here on both of the that I installed on both of the windshield, the rear view mirrors right here. So I can see everything that happens when I'm on the road and when I'm not in my car. So yeah, I do get little footage, and I do keep records of it and stuff like that nowadays, but that's just, to protect me as far as like if I get in the accident and stuff like that, or somebody caused damage to my car and I'm not in the car, so I can know who did what. It'll catch the license plate, I'll know what happened, or catch the person's image, so I'll know from that front. But I recommend you getting cameras, for sure. It'll discourage a lot of your TIs. I mean, it'll discourage a lot of the gangstalkers activity, for sure. So 100% make that investment, people. But this is your boy Gangstalk Talk with AJ. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and I'm gonna catch you on the next video. Be blessed out there. Y'all be safe. Peace.